Hello and welcome back to my channel. So have you ever wondered how ChatGPT actually understands your question and generates such human-like answers? Is it memorizing everything, or is it searching the internet, or is something much more powerful happening behind the scenes? So in the next few minutes I will explain exactly how a large language model works, from the moment you type a sentence to the moment it generates the next word. And don't worry, by the end of this video you will understand the complete LLM architecture in the simplest way possible. So let's say you ask ChatGPT a simple question: what is artificial intelligence? So what happens inside the model first? So the first step is tokenization. So now let's understand the very first step of how an LLM works, and that is tokenizations. So when we type a sentence, the LLM doesn't read it like humans do. For example, as I mentioned, suppose we ask what is artificial intelligence, a human can read this entire sentence at once, but LLM can't. Instead, the first thing it does, it breaks the sentence into smaller pieces called tokens. So as you can see in the image, our sentence has been split into 5 tokens. What is artificial intelligence and question mark. So each of these becomes an individual token. Notice that even the question mark is treated as a separate token because punctuation also carries meaning, right? So now you might think that one word is always one token, but that's not always true. If a word is very long or uncommon, the model may split it into multiple tokens. For example, in the second example shown below, the sentence I love ChatGPT is split into the tokens. And here ChatGPT has been divided into two separate tokens, Chat and GPT. So this helps the model understand words more efficiently. So the key idea is that an LLM doesn't work with complete sentence, it works with tokens. So these tokens becomes the basic building blocks that the model processes in the next step. So just remember, the first thing an LLM does is break your input into tokens. Everything that happens later, understanding, reasoning, and generating responses starts from these tokens. So now that our sentence has been converted into tokens, the next question is, how does a computer understand these words? Since computers only understand numbers, the next step is to convert every token into numbers using something called token embedding. Okay, so as in the previous step we broke our sentence into smaller pieces called tokens, but now the question is, how does a computer understand these words? And the answer is, it does not. Computer don't understand English, Hindi, or any human language. They only understand numbers, right? That's why every token is converted into a list of numbers called an embedding. So let's look at the image. At the top left, you can see that computers understand numbers, not text. So instead of processing words directly, the model first converts each token into a numerical representation. So think of an embedding as a digital fingerprint or numerical identity for a word. So now look at the example in the middle. Our sentence is, what is artificial intelligence? On the left, we have the tokens, what is artificial intelligence and question mark. On the right, each token is converted into a long list of numbers. For example, what becomes the number shown on the screen. Similarly, artificial becomes another completely different list of numbers. These lists are called embedding vectors. Don't worry about remembering the numbers. They are just the computer's way of representing each word. Okay. So now you might be wondering, why do we need these numbers? Because the LLM performs all of its calculations using numbers. It can't perform mathematical operation on words like artificial or intelligence, but it can process their numerical embeddings. And another important point is that these numbers are not random. They capture the meaning of a word. So for example, words like king and queen will have similar embedding because they are related, right? And similarly, car and vehicle will also have embeddings that are close to each other. So this helps the model understand relationships between words. So as you can see in the note below the example, each list of numbers is called a vector, and depending on the model, a vector can contain hundreds or even thousands of numbers. But you don't need to memorize the size, just remember that every token gets its own numerical vector. And finally, let's look at the key takeaways at the bottom. So every token is converted into an embedding. These embeddings capture the meaning of the token, and from this point onward, the LLM is no longer working with text, it is working entirely with numbers. Now our words has been converted into numbers, but there is still one problem. Since the transformer process all tokens together, how does it know which word comes first and which comes last? That's where positional encoding comes in. This is very important step because it explains how the LLM understands the order of the words. The transformer processes all tokens at the same time, not one by one like we read a sentence. So how does it know which word comes first and which comes last? That's exactly why we need positional encoding. So let's understand this image. At the top we have our example sentence. What is artificial intelligence? This sentence is broken into 5 tokens as you can see on the screen, right? These position numbers tell the model the order of the word. Now look at the table in the middle. The first row contains the tokens. The second row shows the position of the each token. The third row contains the token embeddings that we learned in the previous step. These embeddings represent the meaning of each word. Now comes the next part. The fourth row shows positional encoding. So for every token, the transformer creates another small list of numbers that represents its position in the sentence. For example, token 1 gets position encoding 1, token 2 gets position encoding 2, token 3 gets position encoding 3. These are not simple numbers like 1, 2 or 3. They are mathematical vectors just like embeddings. Finally, the transformer adds the token embedding and the positional encoding together. This creates the final embedding shown in the last row. Now each token contains two types of information, the meaning of the word and the position of the word. So the model now knows both what the word means and where it appears in the sentence. Now look at the box on the right. It explains why positional encoding is so important. Imagine these two sentences: dog bites man and man bites dog. Both sentences contain exactly the same words, but their meaning are completely different because the order of the words has changed. So without positional encoding, the model would see both sentences as just the same, right? The model would see both sentences as just the same collection of words and would not understand the difference. Positional encoding solves this problem by preserving the order of the word. Okay? And finally, look at the key idea at the bottom. Token embeddings provide the meaning of each word. Positional encoding provides the order of each word. So when we combine both, the model understands what the word means and where it appears in the sentence. So now that the model knows both the meaning and the position of the every word, the next step is to understand how these words are related to each other. This is done using the most important concept in transformer, which is self-attention. So far we have learned that sentence is broken into tokens, each token is converted into numbers, and positional encoding tells the model that the order of the words. Now comes the most important step of the entire transformer architecture, self-attention. This is the feature that makes model LLMs like ChatGPT so powerful. So look at the example sentence at the top. The animal did not cross the street because it was tired. So as you can see, the sentence is split into individual tokens. Now something interesting happens. Instead of reading the sentence one word at a time, every token looks at every other token in the sentence. That's why you see so many arrows connecting all the words. So think of each word asking a simple question. Which other words are important for understanding me? So now let's focus on the word it. As humans, we immediately understand that it refers to animal. But how does the LLM figure out it uses self-attention? The word it compares itself with all the other words in the sentence. It looks at all the tokens. Then it decides which word is most closely related to it. Look at the attention score table in the middle of this image. Each row shows how much attention one token pays to every other token. Now look at row 8, which represent the token it. You can see that the highest attention score is 0.60 for the word animal. This tells us that the model has learned that it refers to animal. So this is exactly how the model understands the context of the sentence. Now remember, this does not happen only for the word it. Every single token performs this process. Each word look at every other each word and decides which ones are most important. That's why the image contains so many connecting arrows. And why is this so powerful? Because self-attention helps the model understand the relationship between words even if they are far apart in the sentence. For example, in long paragraphs, a word at the beginning may be related to another word many sentences later. Self-attention can still connect them. And another big advantage is that the transformer processes all words at the same time instead of one after another. This makes training much faster than other models like RNNs and helps the model understand the complete context of the sentence. That's why self-attention or transformer is very powerful because it processes all words at the same time. So in nutshell we can say self-attention allows every word to look at every other word, understand their relationship and focus on the most important word to capture the correct meaning of the sentence. Now that the model understands the relationship between all the words, it passes this information to the feed-forward network, where the information is processed further before predicting the next word. So, for example, it understood that the word it refers to animal, but understanding relationship is not enough. Now the model needs to process this information further and learn more complex patterns. So this is where the feed forward network or FFN comes in. So let's look at the image. At the top left, it says that after self-attention, the information passes through a feed forward neural network. So you can think of this as the model's processing unit. It takes everything learned from self-attention and refines it every further. So now look at the diagram on the top right. The output from self-attention enters the feed-forward network. Inside, the information passes through multiple layers of neurons. These layers perform mathematical calculations and transform the information into a better representation. And finally, the refined output is passed to the next transformer layer. So now look at the example in the middle. Our sentence is, the animal did not cross the street because it was tired. In the first box, after self-attention, every token already understands its relationship with the another word. For example, it already knows that it refers to animal. Next, every token is sent through the feed-forward network. An important thing to remember is that each token is processed independently. The model does not compare words here. That comparison already happened during self-attention phase. Instead, the feed-forward network improves the representation of each individual token. As a result, the output becomes even more refined. You can see this in the third box where the updated vectors are passed to the next transformer layer. And now look at the bottom right diagram. This is a simplified view of what happens inside the feed-forward network. The input first goes through a linear transformation, then an activation function called ReLU, and finally another linear transformation. You don't need to remember these mathematical details. The important idea is that this network transforms the information into a richer and more meaningful representation. And one more important point, this process doesn't happen just once. As shown at the bottom, the same transformer block, which includes self-attention followed by the feed-forward network, is repeated many times. So depending on the model, there may be dozens or even hundred of these layers. With each layer, the model develops a deeper understanding of the sentence. Okay? So self-attention helps the model understand the relationship between words. The feed-forward network takes that understanding and refines each token individually, helping the model learn more complex patterns before passing the information to the next layer. So after passing through multiple transformer layers, the model has a deep understanding of the input. Now it's ready for the final step, predicting the next token, which is how an LLM generates text one word or token at a time. So after processing the input through multiple transformer layers, the model does not predict the entire sentence at once. Instead, it predicts one token at a time. So for example, if the input is artificial intelligence is, the model considers thousands of possible next words like the, an, used, and many more. It calculates a probability for each possible token. As shown in the image, the word A has the highest probability at 45%. So the model selects A as the next token. But it does not stop there. The selected token is added back to the input. Now the input becomes artificial intelligence is A, and the model repeats the same process again to predict the next token. It may choose powerful, then technology, then that, and it continues one token at a time until it reaches the end of the response. So even though it feels like ChatGPT writes complete sentence instantly, it's actually predicting one token after another and very quickly until the entire answer is generated. In simple terms, an LLM doesn't generate a full sentence in one shot, it builds these response token by token, always choosing the most likely next token based on everything it has seen so far. Okay, so let's quickly recap what just happened. So your input first gets broken into tokens. Those tokens are converted into numerical embeddings. Positional encoding tells the model the order of the words. Attention Self-attention helps every word understand the context of every other word. The feed-forward network learns more complex patterns from that context. And finally, the model predicts the next token one token at a time until the complete response is generated. So this entire process happens in just a fraction of a second, and it's repeated across dozens of transformer layers containing billions of parameters. That's why modern LLMs like ChatGPT can understand context and generate remarkably human-like responses. Now that you understand how an LLM works internally, concepts like transformers, attention, and token predicting should make a lot more sense, right? So if you found this video helpful, don't forget to like, subscribe, and share it with anyone who wants to understand AI from the group up. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you in the next video.